guys, welcome to my channel. I thought a good first video would be a 2023 reading wrap up so you get to know a little bit about me through the books that I've read and the questions that I answer. I'm currently filming this and it's December 20th and this will be out January 1st and it'll be my first video, so that's exciting. I do want to say I will be talking about this series a lot, and when you see it and you look at my shirt, you'll realize I made it my entire personality and I don't want to hear a thing about it. So let's get into it. So our first question is the most disappointing read of the year. It would have to be Summertime by Willow Astor. I read this when I had the big C, and that's the only reason I finished it. I wasn't going anywhere, I wasn't doing anything, so I finished this book, and quite honestly the plot was a little bit everywhere. I didn't connect to any of the characters and it was very surface level even for a basic romance book, so I actually unhauled it. Then we have our most underdog read of the year, and I have to say it is Defy Me and Imagine Me in the Shatter Me series. I read the first 4 books in this series and I didn't love them, and then I read these 2 within a week and I was actually kind of impressed. I won't say that the series is worth it to just get to the last 2 books, but I was glad they didn't suck, so that's great. We have our overhyped book of the year, and quite honestly it was Fourth Wing. It was good, not great. I think it's because people kept comparing it to ACOTAR and I really didn't get it because it's not ACOTAR. But I am reading the second book in this series, so what does that say about me? I warned you guys, it's starting now. My favorite book couples of the year have to be from the same series. It is Theo and Winter from Reckless and Cade and Willa from Heartless. I just want to say the Chestnut Springsmen really do know how to do it, and expectations have been leveled up. So there's that. A book that surprised me was Happy Place by Emily. A book that surprised me was Happy Place by Emily Henry. I did read Beach Read. I didn't love it, but I don't know what she did different. This book felt so new and so good. I cried, I laughed, I had so many emotions reading this book, and honestly it was a 5-star, which is really surprising because Beach Read I think I rated like a 2. So new favorite author this year is Elsie Silver. She wrote the Reckless series and I read all 4 of these books within a week while studying for finals. So do with that information what you will. I loved it. 10 out of 10. So the next 2 questions are my happiest read of the year and my most frustrating read of the year. And my happiest read of the year was Flawless. This got me out of a book slump. Before I read this book, I picked up like 3-4 books and I put them down. I couldn't get into anything. And then I was kicking and giggling the whole time reading this book. And this was my most frustrating read of the year. Powerless by Elsie Silver in the same series. There was so much back and forth between the characters and all they really needed to do was like cut off toxic people and communicate. And I think it could have been 100 pages shorter, but I still do recommend the series. This movie adaptation is the only movie adaptation I've seen this year, and it was Songbirds and Snakes. I wanted to hate Snow so bad, but they made him way too hot. Like, plot hole right there. That man shouldn't have been that attractive because I knew he was evil. I knew he was garbage, but I still was like, damn. But he is a bad man. That is a bad man. The next questions are the longest read of the year and the shortest read of the year, and my longest read doesn't surprise me because I am a romance girly. It is Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. I did like this book. It was a bit longer than it needed to be in my opinion, but it was great nonetheless. And then we have my shortest read of the year, which surprised me because I think last year my shortest read was like 100 and something pages in the Mind F series, but this year my shortest read was 308 pages. And I was really impressed with myself, to be honest. My favorite cover of the year, done and dusted. This is beautiful. The second book is coming out and is equally just as beautiful. Just look at the, it's still her hair, it's giving shampoo commercial. My favorite main character of the year surprised me because I thought she was going to be so unlikable, but she really had the growth, and then after reading the book and reflecting, she was exactly who she needed to be. Carrie Soto from Carrie Soto Is Back. She did everything a man would be praised to do and was torn apart for it, and then when I sat back and I looked at it that way, she was that girl. So that's my favorite main character of the year. Books I haven't stopped thinking about. We know where we're going. Reckless and Heartless in the Chestnut Spring series. I cannot stop thinking about these books. They both have a certain trope that, I don't know, not a lot of people like. I don't mind it, but can't stop thinking about them. The cringiest book I read this year, I loved, and it's because I am a romance girly. It is Undercover Bromance. It's not cringy, but it is very cheesy. Basically, these men have a book club and they read romances and use them to their advantage, which is what more men should do. An unpopular book I read this year was Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I think this book was really good. The male main character was on the bigger side, and that was nice to see. And the female main character, I think she has anxiety, but I'm not quite sure. It is a workplace romance. They are trying to either get their bosses to get along or separate their bosses. I'm not 100% sure, but I did really like this book. I just read it so long ago, it feels like. So according to Goodreads, the highest rated book I read this year by other people was Fourth Wing. I don't think it deserves the hype, but I see where it comes from. I guess it comes down to the fact that I'm not a fantasy girly. As we can tell from all of the books I'm talking about, they're primarily romance. So I guess I get why I didn't completely enjoy it. Comes from Reckless by Elsie Silver. And I've been in a relationship for 10 years and I kind of really get this quote. It hits home and it got me. I shed a few tears during this moment in the book and it was great. So it says, there are people who need you. We're stronger than this. Yeah, I was angry with you. That was a dumb thing to say, but guess what? I'm going to get mad at you from time to time. People who are together get mad at each other. They say shitty things they regret and it's normal. Being happy-go-lucky Theo who ticks no one off and never has a bad day is not normal. You're allowed to freak out. But you have to freak out with me. You have to freak out with me because I need you. I love you. I love you so much it paralyzes me to think of carrying on without you. You're not allowed to shut me out because you made me need you and now you have to deal with the consequences. And if you know Winter, and Theo, you know how good this quote is. Read this book. If you don't read any of the books in that series, read this book. Should we get another one? I think we should. Okay, hold on. Winter just pops off in this book, man. Okay, this one's really cute because I loved hearing their relationship described in this one moment. He says, but you don't cry, and he winks at me, and I roll my eyes. Those two motions are like our secret handshake at this point. And it's so cute because it is. Okay, so read that book and enjoy those moments, and then hit me up and we can fangirl over those moments. So now moving on, a book with the most unique concept would have to be The Grace Year. Without getting too much into it or giving any spoilers, when girls become a certain age, they are sent out into the woods with very little supplies, all alone, and I think they're like 16, so we know we're catty at that time. And basically they're out there to get rid of their magic, and they go into this kind of like cabin fever, kill each other type of vibe, and then when they come back, you kind of get why the men are doing that. So that's a really good book. I do recommend. I think I rated it 3.5 stars. So yeah, very interesting, very twisted, but I liked it. A book that you would reread. I'm actually planning on rereading this in February because the second book comes out in March, but Done and Dusted, I might give it a reread. Even if it's just kind of like a skim reread, I would reread this. And I would reread any book in the Chestnut Springs series. Reading reflection of 2023. I was very lucky. I read a lot of good books, a lot of bangers. I did fall into a 1 month reading slump. That did suck, but I've just realized if I'm not liking something, I need to put it down and kind of pick up something I know I'm gonna like. I know I'm a romance girly. If I'm reading a fantasy book and I'm not into it, put it down. Pick up a cheesy romance. Pick up a reread. Anything and everything that will get you out of it, because you know yourself and that'll work in your benefit. My 2024 reading goal would be to read 45 books. I think I read like 43 and my goal was 40. So I feel like 45 is challenging but attainable at this point. I do want to read one nonfiction like I do every year, and I want to be more involved in like the reading community and use it to like make friends. I did get to meet one of my Booksta friends this year and that was so much fun. And then me and my friend Gabby, who met on Bookstagram, we have met up a few times this year because we live in like the same area, and that's always so much fun. So I do want to do more of that. And I do want to read like a self-help book to kind of put my goals and my desires into a format that I know I'm going to like achieve. So that'll be fun. And then we're taking on this new booktube adventure. I've done Bookstagram and I've done book talk, but it's like short form content, and quite honestly I'm very chatty, as you can tell. So I think this might be a little bit more of my domain, more of where I feel comfortable. So that'll be fun. 15 minutes of me just rambling on about books. This was a lot of fun. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, all of the things, and I will see ya in the next one. Bye!